Happy Friday, and welcome to the Bold Badass Business Show, where we bring you badasses from all over the globe who help you boost your business, feel powerful, and give your passionate mission to the world. And today, you all, does this guest need an introduction? Well, our scheduled guest for some reason isn't here. And guess what gets to happen in a live broadcast when you don't have the scheduled guest? Y'all get me. Woohoo! Yes, studio audience goes wild. That means all my rescue dogs are going wild right now. So today we are doing a quick pivot because guess what? I don't want to disappoint you. No reason to disappoint you at all. And we are going to discuss 3 quick and easy ways to multiply your profits right now. Because I know those of you who are business owners, we're about to go into the holidays. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to get done. And I know that you want some quick and easy ways to actually create more profit. Am I right? Am I right? Give me a yes, if you will. Let me know what you think. And by the way, I have this horrible little thing stuck in my teeth over here. I don't even know what it is. Wow. Never thought I'd do that on my business show. So today, let's talk about profit. All right. And here's the thing. This is what a lot of people really don't realize. And that is that you can make more money and you can earn more money and you can hold on to more of what you make and earn. All right. So it's not just about making more. It's also about holding on to more of what you make and more of what you earn in business. And here's the thing that I know and I see over and over again. I've had clients who were multiple 6-figure businesses, some 7-figure businesses, and yet their profit was way smaller than just a solopreneur. All right, think about it, you all. I've had people who scaled their businesses, made them bigger, employed a lot of people, had a lot of projects going on, but they were actually, in terms of their profit, their net, not their gross, making less than a solopreneur. Now, why is that? Why is it, you all? And think about that. I think it is so important to be true to who you are in business. I hear people saying, why don't we scale your business? You can be 7 figures, you can do this, you can do that. Well, here's the question. If you do that, what is your role going to be? Are you going to be in your zone of genius? Or are you going to be more of a manager for other people? Think about it, you all. Now, some people manage to create a structure where they're still in their zone of genius. But so often when people scale into 7 figures and more, they leave behind that initial love that they had for the thing they're doing, and they become more of a manager than the business owner. So I'm just going to say that right here, right now, and welcome to the show, those of you who are popping on. I see some viewers coming in. I'm glad you're here. Our guest, for some reason, is not here, and so you get me today talking about 3 quick and easy ways to multiply your profits right now. Are you excited? Woohoo! Give me some juice, y'all. How about some hearts? Thank goodness I've done what I've done for over 20 years because I have so many presentations I can just pull to share with you. So 3 quick and easy ways to multiply your profits right now. And this is whether you are in the 6-figure range or even in the 7-figure range, you can apply these. And they are not rocket science, but they are absolutely foundational. So the first one is use all your legitimate business tax write-offs. Yes, deduct all your business expenses. Now, it amazes me so many times, you all, as I work with people to see things that they are not deducting that they could deduct. And see, this is why Robert Kiyosaki in Rich Dad, Poor Dad talks about having your own business as being the most important thing that you could actually do in life. Even if you are working for someone, you also want to have your own business because of the tax write-offs. All right. So let's just go through a few of those. And I can guarantee you that if you and I spend a little time together, guess what? We would find some tax write-offs you are not taking and need to be taking. So the first way that you want to multiply your profits is to hang on to more of what you earn. And how do you do that? You're going to take every legitimate business tax write-off you can. So let's give you some. Your health insurance, 100% a tax write-off when you are in business. All right, it used to not be, but it is now, you all. How cool is that? There's no excuse for not having health insurance. Your professional development, everything you do, all the conferences you go to, all the networking groups you're part of, all the business associations you're part of, all the memberships you have that relate to business, all of that, your professional development, your networking and things you attend, all of that is a business tax write-off. So what do you want to be doing? You want to be taking all your tax write-offs. Your meals and entertainment are deductible. It changes every year, every few years. So you need to talk to your tax accountant about how much is a write-off now. But client parties and also entertaining in which business is discussed has a business write-off. So find out the exact amount of that, because like I said, it changes. So I don't want to give you a figure this year and suddenly it's different. Your mileage, every place you go for business, when you go get office supplies, when you go to the bank, when you go to an event out of town, all of that is a business tax write-off, your mileage for that. And again, the mileage amount changes every year, but it's huge. And I know when I was traveling a lot, you all, that write-off was thousands of dollars on my taxes. So it's super, super important. Your subscriptions to anything that is related to your business. So if you do interior design and you are having subscriptions to, say, Simple Living, etc., you can take those off as a tax write-off, but it has to be subscriptions related to your business. This also goes for software subscriptions. So any subscriptions you have to software that help you, AI that helps you in your business, guess what? It's all a tax write-off. So you can hold on to more of what you're making. Your financial help that you get, your contract work, your parking, your travel, your lodging, your office supplies, your equipment, your home office, your cleaning, your repairs, all of these are a tax write-off. At least if you have a home office, the part of your home that is the home office is a write-off. So let's say you have your roof repaired and you have 10% of your house that is a home office, you can take 10% of the roof repair off on your taxes. Now, is that awesome or what? Now, you all, here's the thing. Would you rather pay taxes on 150,000 or 300,000? Let's just say 150 to make the math easy. Or would you rather take all of your business tax write-offs, which maybe are 50 or 60,000 or more? Let's say, just for the purposes of math, let's say you have $75,000 of business expenses, legitimate business expenses. Would you rather pay taxes on 150,000 or 75,000? Yeah, I think you get my point. 75,000 for sure. And you can hold on to way more than what you make that way. You can hold on to way more of what you make that way. Now think about it, you all. This is basically when we think about our tax write-offs, it's one of the reasons why, even if you're working with for an employer, you want to have the business write-offs, because they offset what you're making with an employer. And you're going to usually generally be in a much higher tax bracket when you work for an employer. All right, so let's see. Second thing you can do is inventory your expenses and plug your drains. You can do this to multiply your profits right now. You want to inventory your expenses and you want to plug the drains. So what are you spending money on every month for your business that you are not using? And by the way, that could include a lot of interest that you are paying on business credit cards. I have someone right now I'm working with who has a lot of business credit cards, and I've been encouraging her to use a HELOC that has a much lower rate of interest, much lower, like 25% of what she's paying the credit cards, get the credit cards paid off and continue to apply what she was paying on the credit cards that was mostly interest to her HELOC payment. So there are some creative ways that you can pay down that credit card, but since credit cards are generally 20% to even 35, 36%, you do not want to be carrying a balance over from month to month. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. So don't do that to yourself. Just don't. So the I is for inventorying your expenses and plugging your drains. Another tip I love to give people is that when you have an ongoing service that you're using, like your hosting service, don't just pay month by month. Call them and say, hey, I really want a better deal. I want to stick with you for a year or 2 years or 3 years, and see what they can give you. See what kind of deal they can give you. Negotiate with them, because for them, they want to keep you as long as they possibly can. And you may be able to snag a deal that gets you 3 years for what you were paying for 1 year. I've had this happen so many times, but it requires you to take a little effort, make the phone call, and say, look, I've been with you for so many years. I'd like to stay this amount of time. I want a better deal than what I'm getting. What can you give me if I enroll and go ahead and pay now for a year or 2 years or 3 years? You'll be amazed. And I like to say everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable, you all, really. Now, perhaps we're not going to negotiate with the price. Maybe we're going to negotiate with time or a bonus, for instance. But everything is negotiable. And so when you come to the table, don't just think about the money. Think about what you could also ask for, because maybe they won't reduce the price, for example. But think about what you could ask for that would be on top of that. Maybe there's something else that this company offers that you could ask for to be included in your package. All right. So very important to look at every single ongoing expense you have in your business. And when people clean this up, it's amazing how much more they have to work with for their business. So maybe you have a subscription you're not using. I recently just cut out some subscriptions that I'd had for a while, immediately saving myself over $50 a month. And that can be invested in something else for my business. And that's just one example of me taking 5 minutes to look at what was going on in my business. Oh, this, and this I'm not using. Let me just get rid of them. Let me get rid of them. All right. So those of you who are listening, what have you heard that's helpful for you? What money drain do you have that you are letting use your hard-earned money? What is it? Let's put it into the chat. What are you doing? Perhaps you're only eating out, or you're using DoorDash all the time. Perhaps you drive a gas-guzzling huge SUV, and it's time to invest in a vehicle that's hybrid, for instance. Perhaps it's time for you to stop using the services you've been using that haven't been producing results, and instead focus in on what else you can do. Maybe it would be helpful for you, for example, to hire a VA than hiring a marketing agency, so to speak. All right. So number 2 is inventory your expenses and plug your drains. And then number 3 is bundle. Bundle what you have. If you want to create more profit, multiply your profits right now, bundle what you have with other things that you have. Look back at what you've created in the past and you might be amazed. I found this thing recently and I was like, oh my God, this is so good. It's 50 nifty ways to follow up and create customers for life. And this is something I did back in like 2005, you all. And I found this and was like, oh my God, these are really good suggestions. Have you ever had that experience? You look at something and you're like, wow, look at that. From a long time ago. But I can take this and I can turn it into something else. I can bundle it with some of my audios. I can bundle it with some of my books. I can include this as a lead generator, a lead magnet, and some giveaways. There are all sorts of things I can do with this. I can hold some presentations. I can take a few of these and go in depth with those and do some presentations. The point being, you are sitting on a suitcase in an airport that is full of stuff. And the stuff in that suitcase is all the experience, all the things you've created up to this point, everything that you've studied, everything you all, not just the stuff you've studied for your business, but the things you've studied outside of your business, like art or whatever you've studied, poetry recitation. I don't know what you've studied. Everything that's been a part of your expertise, you can use, you can bring it into your business and bundle it. Now, it might come in as, say, a book that you create that incorporates one of your passionate hobbies, such as perhaps your passionate hobby is cooking. So you create a book or a tips booklet that uses metaphors from recipes. Or maybe you create a recipe for success, so to speak, and this becomes your lead magnet in your business. Just so many ways that we can bundle. And I think it's really nice to sit down with a friend, sit down with somebody and say, hey, you know, what can I do? I'm a little bored. Have y'all felt that way in your business? I get that way in my business sometimes. I'm a little bored. You know, I feel like I'm doing the same thing kind of over and over. How can I liven it up? What can I do differently? How can I do something different? And that is where I think we can go in and look at what we created. Look back in your computer. Look at those files you haven't opened in forever. Look back in your file folders. Maybe you're like me and you take copious handwritten notes, or you have copious handwritten notes from the past. Look back through those and take some of the ideas that you had in the past. Take some of the things you created in the past, like my 50 nifty ways to follow up and create customers for life, and turn them into a different format. Repurpose them, put them into a video, or send them out in an email newsletter, or send the video out in your email newsletter. But take that material and repackage it and repurpose it. All right. So maybe now people don't like, well, for real, people don't like to read ebooks that much now. Folks really love video though. So take that ebook and do some videos out of it. Take some of the parts of your book and put them on video, or do a vlog, a video blog about your book. Do something different, but the point being, you've already got a lot of content. And by the way, even if you don't have a lot of content, guess what? You can bundle by partnering with other people who have things you're interested in that work well for your customer. Maybe you have the same target customer. You both love working with women solopreneurs. Then you can bundle together your creations. And you can use those together, and each of you can promote them that way. So bundle and repackage, because then essentially you have, and repurpose, because then essentially you have a new product that you can offer. And maybe somebody got a version of it a long time ago. Maybe they got a version of this or parts of this new product. But now that you've packaged it in a new form and maybe a new medium, it's completely a different product. And maybe they'll actually use it this time. Maybe they didn't use it before because it was only available in one format. So think about that. So again, just to go back, let's talk about what are these three quick and easy ways you can multiply your profits. Well, number one is, what do? You inventory. Well, actually, you deduct all your business expenses, the legitimate ones, obviously, because nobody wants to bring you cookies in jail because you didn't report all your income, okay? Number two, you inventory your expenses and you plug the drains. You make sure that you plug the drains. So the things that you're really not using, you get rid of. You slough them off. And don't wait to get rid of them. You know, we've all done that. I know we have. I had a merchant account I left open I really wasn't using. And, you know, that was hundreds of dollars down the drain when I didn't need it because I had other ways for people to pay me. So, first of all, deduct your business expenses. Second of all, inventory your drains and plug them. And third of all, bundle what you have with your older material and with other people's material. So you are repackaging and repurposing and creating something new. And so if you put all this together, it spells out DIBS. The S is for success. When you do the DIB, you get success. So you have dibs on your own success by implementing these strategies and using these three quick and easy ways to multiply your profits right now. All right, so was that helpful, you all? Let me have a quick little heart, if you would. I would appreciate some hearts. That would be super helpful, especially since I'm getting to come on here. I don't know what happened to my guest today, but this has happened just once before, only once in the whole time I've had the show. And, you know, you never know what's going on for somebody. But it is the risk I run when I do a live show. Even when you've reached out to people, etc., sometimes something happens. You never know. So let me ask you, how are your profits going? Those of you who are on here, how are your profits going? How are you feeling about your business? How are you feeling? Are you feeling proud of what you've created so far this year? Are you feeling proud? Are you feeling like you're going to end up the year strong? You're going to end the year strong? Or are you feeling frustrated? Are you feeling a little lost? Are you feeling like things are kind of barren right now? How are you feeling? I think it's just good to ask yourself that question. You know, how am I feeling? And then ask yourself, well, if I'm feeling that way, what do I need to implement so I can end this year where I want to be? Where do you want to be at the end of the year? How much do you want to have made in your business? How many people do you want to have served in your business? How many special business conferences do you want to have attended by the end of this year? How many new projects do you want to have completed by the end of this year? What's left for you? What's left for you this year that needs to be brought to completion? So I know for myself that, and some of you know this, I've completed my first children's book. And I get to create or have the character, the line drawings created and the cover created for this. I've already got endorsements and all of that stuff. And now it's time for the line drawings and the cover, and then getting it up first on Kindle and then into a book format, like a print book. So that is a huge project that has some more steps for me to take. So it's important when we have these big projects that we want to finish, that we ask ourselves, how can I break that down into smaller, edible amounts? What can I do today that will move that project forward? Especially when you have a project, as this one is for me. The children's book is a project that's about love. It's a project that, I mean, it might be a money maker, but that's not really why I did it. I did it because I want all kids to know that they matter. And I don't want kids to be hurt and bullied, either at home or at school or anywhere, really. And so it's a labor of love. So how do I keep my business that is the source of my livelihood and that supports me and my daughter, in which I coach people and help them soar into six figures and more? How do I keep this going keep those profits going while I'm also doing the children's book? And here's where we can come back to today's topic and ask, well, actually, how could that children's book be bundled in with some of the other things I'm doing? How could it be something that I incorporate into some of my presentations or that I incorporate into my books? How can I bring it in? So I want you just for a second, those of you listening in, to think about one of those projects you really want to bring to a close by the end of this year. Because, the end of the year is coming up. We're soon going to be singing Hanukkah songs and Christmas carols and celebrating the Festival of Lights. So what's something that you want to bring to fruition, and how can you connect that back to the profit that you make in your business? How can the two be connected? Just think for a second. And I'd love to hear some comments over in the chat for you brave souls who are here with me. What do you see that would be possible if you were to take that project and figure out a way to incorporate it with something else in your business to monetize it? All right. And while you're thinking, I'm going to give you all an example. All right. So anybody who tunes into the show, Bald Badass Business, knows that I love animals. Y'all know that. Like, I love animals, always have. And we have 3 dogs and 2 cats. So one thing I have done for years and years that has been such a fun thing. I was the kid who was the fortune teller at the church Halloween carnival, right? I love reading tarot. It's something I've done for years. It's something I learned to do and studied. Just did it for fun as a fortune teller. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have tarot cards, but I had a little fake crystal ball when I was 8, right? At the Halloween carnival. And I dressed in all sorts of weird stuff with like a lame turban. Yeah, the lame turban looked good, y'all. It really did. Anyway, so that experience, down the road, when I got the opportunity to learn how to read tarot from someone who knew how to do it, it was just really cool. And so, I love animals, and I also really enjoy reading tarot for people. And I am thinking of a way that I'm going to incorporate tarot into some presentations online right now. That is on my mind. But to prepare for this a bit, I thought, I want to do a fundraiser for animals. And what I'll do is I'll read tarot like I do in some of my coaching sessions with people as part of the coaching session, just a part of it. But let me read for people and they can donate to the animals, and particularly to an animal rescue organization here that's local that I really like, Independent Animal Rescue. So let me do that. And that's a way I can begin to monetize the tarot in a way that really also helps a lot of dogs and cats, because they actually take a number of the animals that would be euthanized at shelters where they would be euthanized, and bring them to Independent Animal Rescue, make sure they get the veterinary help they need and get them the vaccines and everything they need, and then get them out to good homes eventually. So this for me was a win to do this. And now I am over $400 in with readings done for people and all of this amount will go to independent animal rescue. My goal is over 800 for independent animal rescue. And I'm just doing this as I can in between everything else to support animals and do something good for animals. So sometimes when you're wanting to create profit with something new, a great step you can take is to begin to do it on a donation basis for an organization or a cause that you care about. What is an organization or a cause that you care about? Begin to think about that. Begin to consider that. And that is a way you can begin to get the word out to people about what you do. And you can do it in such a way that they are giving a donation to the organization. It's a great way to certainly share what you do and market it without feeling super pressured because you're fundraising, but you are accepting money for what you do, which I find is a big hurdle for a number of business owners. When people want to become business owners, a lot of times they ask the question, well, what can I do? And why would people buy that? Who's going to buy that? And so this is a kind of interim step you can take, that you could offer something that you'd like to monetize, but do it as a fundraiser for an organization. All right, so that's another way to begin to create profits, and it can certainly begin to multiply profits. It's a good stepping stone for somebody who's not quite ready to charge people and take the money themselves. Well, charge people and give it to your favorite charity. Let them donate, in other words. Well, you all, I hope that this has been helpful. My guest did not arrive today, but thankfully I have over 20 years of presenting experience. So I have many seminars, and I just gave you a little one, the 3 quick and easy ways to multiply your profits. If you're just tuning in now, be sure to go back and listen to those. Some you'll already know about, but there'll be others you'll think, oh yeah, I haven't really been doing that. Okay, let me get back on that. Totally forgot about that. That's the nature of business, right? We get one thing going over here, and then sometimes we just forget about this over here. Oh my God, I can't believe I totally forgot about that. We've got to keep all the wheels turning together. And I guess I just finally would say some final thoughts for today. I love doing the interviews on Bold Badass Business, you all. I really do. And I love that because it's a chance to connect and bring somebody amazing to your world and amazing work to you. And that to me means so much. And I would really appreciate you helping us grow the YouTube channel, which you can do by going to youtube.com/Dr. Barnsley NC, youtube.com/Dr. Barnsley NC. You can grow, you just subscribe, it's free, obviously. Check out other episodes and also share it. I would really appreciate that because I'd like this show to reach so many people. I'd like it to inspire a lot of people to take their business to a whole nother level. And I would like it to inspire folks who don't even have a business yet to take the leap, get a great coach, and go forward. And the other thing I would say, you all, is that I forget to toot my own horn sometimes about what I do with people. And it is super powerful because what I do is help you soar into six-figure success and more. And what's great about this is I get to hear these great stories from my folks. Like one person recently has now paid over $30,000 of debt. She's paid down while she's been working with me. That means so much. She's now free of that burden of debt. And she and her husband are just thrilled by this. And she's doing very well in her business. She's just re-upped for another year in my Make It Happen Mastermind 12-month program. And I'm super excited, because coaching, our need for coaching is really ongoing. We don't ever come to a point in our business where we can say, oh, yeah, I'm done. I've got it all together. I've finished, unless you decide to sell. But if you're listening to this program, I'm guessing you're not wanting to sell. You love your business. You're passionate about it. You're still working your business. And your business is working through you. All right. So just think about what a privilege it is to have your own business. I really consider it a privilege to hang out with you every Friday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. I love these times. I love being with my guests. And today I'm with me. Oh, yay. I love me. But it means a lot to be here with you. And I hope and I pray that the things that we talk about are making a huge difference in your life and your business. This is why I put the work in. This is why I do all the work. This is why I get on when my guest doesn't show up and just go ahead and have the show happen with some of my own material, because I don't want you to be disappointed. So thank you for tuning in. And please remember that you are a badass in business, even when you don't feel that way, even if your business isn't where you want it to be. But it's time to reach out, get some help, get some support. Get Dr. Barnsley or another badass coach there with you, offering you what you need to go forward. And you're going to make it. You're going to make it. I'm proof of that 24 years in, and still going with my business. And by the way, you still get the Bold Ass Business Freebie Vault this week with all the freebies, all the gifts, all sorts of things from all the guests on Bold Badass Business, including yours truly. I actually have my complimentary Get Results Now session listed there in the vault. It's a $497 value. You fill out a quick little 11-minute application, and then we get together and talk about it. All of this is available for you at bit.ly/free from Dr. B. bit.ly/free from Dr. B, which is DRB. All right. So go on in there, look through the freebie vault, grab thousands and thousands of dollars of gifts. And if you're serious about building a badass 6-figure business, if you're serious about really multiplying your profits and doing the thing that you love, that you've been put here on this earth to do, then grab that Get Results Now session that I offer in the freebie vault, and let's make it happen. I'll see you next week on Bold Badass Business, and we will have a guest next week, FYI, an awesome guest. So make sure that you tune in 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. Pacific. In the meantime, have a badass week.